welcome back to our Pride podcast and our final episode for this mini-series. I'm Tamica Carty, Marketing Executive at VSI, and I'll be your host today. Joining me today are two wonderful guests, Michelle Wang, Junior Dubbing Producer based in our VSI London office, and Fernando Guimarães, Localization Specialist based in VSI Sao Paulo. In today's episode, we will be celebrating queer joy. So over to our guests. Michelle, do you want to kick us off and share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Michelle. I now work as a dubbing producer at VSI London. I manage voiceover, audio description, and dubbing projects. And I just had my 3rd anniversary working here.
Oh, amazing. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I was born and raised in China, and I moved to the UK for my master's degree in translation in 2021. I identify as bisexual, and thanks for inviting me to this podcast. I'm really excited to be in this conversation.
Oh, amazing. Well, it's so nice to have you here, Michelle. Thank you. And Fernando, over to you, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Fernando. I'm from Brazil, born and raised, and I work as a localization specialist at VSI São Paulo. I've been in this career for like 4 years or something like this, and I am graduated in film studies, and since then I started working with dubbing, with localization in general, and yeah, I think that's a good overall.
Nice. Well, thank you both for the introductions and for joining us today. It's great to chat to you both. So, to kick us off, Fernando, what does queer joy look like to you and mean?
Wow, I mean, that's a very wide question. It can be answered in many, many ways, but I believe that something it's that comes before our joy, it's our acceptance. And I mean, it's great. And I think queer joy means that we have accepted who we are, we have accepted our feelings and who we are in general. And after that, we can be proud, we can feel joy to be queer, you know?
Yeah.
So I think both things comes after the first step that it's acceptance. And after acceptance, I mean, it's great to be proud about it.
Yeah, and to be yourself. And Michelle?
Yeah, for me, I think it's just about feeling free with who you are. Like, you don't have to hide or explain anything, and you know that you're not alone, and that there are people out there who have similar experience and similar struggles and similar joy.
And there's such a big community as well out there. So I hope people who are part of the LGBTQ plus community don't ever feel alone and that they do feel accepted. And has there been a recent moment or time that's made you feel completely seen, comfortable, free, joyful to be your authentic self, Michelle?
Yeah, I actually recently went to this queer comedy fundraiser last month. It was
Oh, cool.
such a cool experience because I had never been to something like this before. There were a bunch of queer stand-up comedians and drag queens performing, and the event was for raising money for a queer short film. So
Awesome.
honestly, just sitting there listening to people sharing their stories on stage so openly and naturally, it just felt really warm and comforting to me. And the whole vibe was just super welcoming. And I just felt like, yeah, this is my crowd.
Is that here based in London?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And Fernando, for yourself?
Well, I've been thinking while you're saying, and I think the most authentic moment that I can talk about it now, it's a recent concert from Lady Gaga in Copacabana. I mean, probably their fans heard about it, and it was like 2 million people on the beach
Wow.
watching the concert. And I mean, the most frequent question is, oh, could you see her? And I'm like, well, I could see the screens, but I mean, there were 2 million people singing the same songs and like all together in a sense of community that was like unbelievable. I've never lived something like this before. It was, I mean, community at its finest. And also, I mean, the artist, that's herself, Lady Gaga, is such a strong supporter for our community. So
Yeah.
it was amazing. The general feeling for everybody and for all my friends were there, and it was like once in a lifetime thing.
That's amazing. I'm sure it must have been incredible, and 2 million people is insane.
I mean, only Brazil could provide you this. In size, I mean, it's huge.
Oh, it sounds so awesome. I'm glad. And kind of on that topic, one of the questions I wanted to ask is, like you both just mentioned now, the comedy, the music, and everything. How do you think it plays a role in like experiencing queer joy? Like you both just said now, how much it affected you. So yeah, I wondered if you guys could elaborate on that. Michelle?
I think to me, it's mainly just to be in a crowd that like share similar experience with you and to have people understand some of your experiences. For example, I remember there was one comedian and shares how people always thought that she looks very straight, like appearance wise, and I really echoed that experience because whenever I tell people that I'm bisexual, they say, "Oh, you don't look like you're lesbian," and I like to be around people that can understand that.
Yeah, and it's not really about like the way you look.
Yeah, it's not really about that. So yeah, it's good to be around people that you don't have to explain.
100%. And someone should
Yeah,
also never say that as well to someone else.
yeah.
And Fernando, yourself?
Well, I was thinking, and I think art in general, I mean, we're talking about comedy, we're talking about music, but also films, books.
100%.
They all play like they can be like an example for people while we're growing up. So we can have places to look and to search. I mean, I grown in a small town
Yeah.
in Brazil, so things weren't that easy and that open as it is in São Paulo. I mean, I was super lucky with the family and friends that I was raised with, but still, I was in a small town, so I didn't have many examples and I couldn't look in my community and search for those examples. So, having the arts in this as a role model, it's great. And then you can find like queer people to inspire and to show you like what you do and what you don't do, and this is incredible. I think this is the most powerful thing about those things as comedy, as music. It's like a role model, and it's interesting to follow characters that are openly LGBTQ plus in the television, in the films, or also singers. Those are getting more frequent, and it's great because I can see that the new generations have more people to get inspired by,
Yeah.
and it's great. I mean,
No, it is so good to see.
Yeah, totally agree. I want to add because films also have played a very, very big role for me in figuring out my identity as well, because I didn't came out until I was 22. And before that, the only kind of window to the LGBTQ plus community and all that are through those films. And my favorite film is Blue is the Warmest Color. Not sure if you know it, and it's like I
yes.
watched it very randomly when I was in high school without any subtitles. I didn't understand any French back then, but I just don't know why. And I watched it all. Yeah, and it kind of just planted a seed in me. And very accidentally, when I met my ex-girlfriend in uni, she picked that exact same movie on our first date.
Oh, no way.
It's really good that we have all these amazing films for us.
Absolutely. And Fernando, is there a movie that resonated with you that you can like recommend?
So, yeah, there's a film called And Then We Danced. It's from Georgia, and it's like from Levan Akin, that it's a great filmmaker that I love him. And there are similarities with Call Me by Your Name that I know it's a hit worldwide.
Yeah.
I think it's more real. I mean, it's less Hollywood, you know? So
Yeah.
it's a great film. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you. And I know you now said, because now that we're on the topic about artists and movies and music and comedy, is there any music artists that you would recommend listening to or that resonate with you guys? I know, Fernando, you just said Lady Gaga is a really good one. Is there any other artists that kind of stand out to you guys?
Well, I'm not sure if people are really familiar with Brazilian music, but we have a very strong queer community and also a community of artists that are queer here. So there is one amazing trance singer that it's called Lineker. She's great. And we also have like Pablo Vittar, that it's the biggest drag queen after RuPaul, that I think it's the worldwide recognized drag queen. We have her, that it's like the biggest on followings, and she's also a singer and an amazing performer. And she mixes Brazilian music with world music, with electronic music, and it's great. And she also opened for Lady Gaga in a DJ set here
Oh,
in Brazil.
nice.
So I would say those two that are part of our community and are Brazilian and amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And Michelle, did you want to add as well?
Cool. I don't have specific singer in mind, but I do have a dancer. She's a Chinese dancer called Jing Xin, and she's also a TV host. And she's one of the most visible transgender women in Chinese media. She transitioned in the 90s, which was incredibly brave considering how like conservative it was back then. Yeah, especially in China. She doesn't really talk about LGBTQ plus topics like on the media, but just the fact that she's out there, visible on mainstream TV and living confidently as herself, to me, it's already a very powerful statement. And yeah, I really respect that. And I also love her dance, of course.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you. And who are some LGBTQ plus creators? I know you've now mentioned this dancer, Michelle, or potentially leaders or everyday heroes that you guys like look up to or like show resilience in the community. Fernando, is there anyone that stands out to you?
Yes, the first thing that comes to my mind, it's a congresswoman called Erica Hilton. She's a Brazilian congresswoman. I'm not sure if she was the first, but I think she was the first trans woman elected to our parliament. And also, she were like the most voted congresswoman in our last election. And I mean, she's been doing an amazing job to support our community and to work on laws and things that help our community, help to not end prejudice, of course, but she's trying to make things better here in Brazil.
Yeah,
And it's something that it's super weird, but happens here, is that our country, it's like has huge rates of prejudice, and it's one of the most violent with trans people in the world. But also we have like those icons, and we have like the most voted congresswoman, it's a trans woman here. So it's complicated to understand, but it's so great to see things happening, things getting done. And we're working day after day, we and the Congress people and like our community working day after day to make here a better place, of course.
yeah,
She's incredible, and she's getting a great visibility even out of the community. People
yeah.
are seeing her and are relying to her, so it's amazing. She's amazing. She's called Erica Hilton. She's great.
I'll have to look her up. Awesome, thank you. And Michelle, is there anyone else besides the dance and TV host that you mentioned?
There's one that I also really admire is called Gigi Chao. She's a businesswoman and a LGBTQ plus advocate from Hong Kong who's spoken out publicly about queer rights in Asia, which I think takes a lot of courage, especially given the culture and family expectations and traditions in that part of the world. Apart from that, I also think it's very important to acknowledge that every day queer people who like just support us, so like friends, families, and people just show up and be there for us in small ways. I
Yeah,
think that kind of support is also very valuable for me.
yeah, definitely. And is there any social media platforms that you guys like go to for advice, or like any websites that you feel like have been really resourceful, or like social media pages that stood out to you that you would use for information for the LGBTQ plus community that was helpful?
I don't have specific ones because I can't remember the account name, but I do follow some lesbian couples and creators on Douyin, which is the Chinese version of TikTok, and they share their personal stories and things they've gone through in this relationship, and like how they reflect on them, and like how they navigate through society as a lesbian in China. And then I think most of the time I just really enjoy watching them because they're happy, and it's just really nice to see that in everyday life, even through a screen. And I feel I'm connected somehow through that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's amazing that they get to like share that with their community as well.
Yeah.
And social media can be used for good like that. And it's incredible.
I don't have a place, a specific web page or Instagram profile or to follow, but I think it's like you start creating your own virtual community. So you start following people that, I mean, it can be like a food creator, but he's queer, so he will bring his life and his experience to the subjects. You follow someone that's like talking about traveling and it's bringing their experience. So you start working on this virtual community, you know? I mean, at least for me, when I realized I've been surrounded by many amazing people, so I don't have to rely to one page, you know? So I have a variety of people that can bit by bit bring me more diverse experience, you know?
Oh, that's awesome. And what would you say to someone who's still trying to figure out their identity or to embrace their identity?
I'd say don't rush it, because it's totally okay to feel confused. And just because people around you might seem to have just figured everything out doesn't mean that you have to at the same time. It just takes time, and the journey is valid no matter what stage we're at.
That's lovely.
I had thought I was straight for the first 22 years of my life. So, yeah, it takes time. So don't rush it.
Yeah. And also, I think this is super, super important not to rush. And also, don't try to figure out everything at once, that it's almost the same, but you have to find your people, you have to find your
Yeah.
vibe, you have to find your inspirations. And I think the most important is there is no one like you. So as more as you look for models and for people, and nowadays with social media and many, many, many examples, you still have to find out who you are and not try to be someone else, because I mean, you can have some things that are close, but you're still you.
No, that's really good advice. Don't rush it and you don't have to figure it all out at once. So, yeah, that's really well said. Thanks, you guys. And hopefully people can take that advice and not put too much pressure on themselves as well and just embrace their authentic self. I wonder now, Fernando, if this would be your moment, but what is a moment of queer joy that you'll never forget? I'm wondering if yours will be the Lady Gaga concert.
Of course, I mean, I have to repeat the same thing because it was pure queer joy. I mean, it was incredible. I never felt safer and like close to people that are not the same as me, but have a life that it's close and have problems and struggles that are close to mine. And I mean, also, Lady Gaga is so important for our generation. I mean, she started as a pop star and she was great. And then she started day after day after day fighting for our cause and trying to help the LGBTQ community. And I mean, just in March, she won a Grammy and she went to thank. And also, she was talking about trans rights on the stage. I mean, she really is an ally. So being at that place with so many of ours was it's going to be a moment I won't forget at all. I mean, I want to tell this to my children, to my grandchildren, and show videos because it's once in a lifetime for sure.
That's incredible. I'm so happy you got to experience that. And Michelle?
For me, it's not really about one specific moment.
Yeah.
It's more of the experience of being there for the people I care about and building deep friendships through the support. So I want to share this little story about me and my best friend from uni after I moved to the UK. She's also a Chinese international student, and we were at the same university. after graduating, she wanted to stay here in the UK because the environment is relatively more inclusive, because at the time she was also kind of struggling to figure out her identity at the time. But her family was kind of traditional, that they just expect her to go back home, settle down, get married, have kids. And she was really upset and lost at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, she had a lot of conflict with her parents, and that's when I felt like I could step in and support her, because I'd been through something similar. So we became flatmates, moving together, we shared everything. We stayed up late talking everything, life, identity, all of that. And I also encouraged her to build her career here, and now she's doing an amazing job. She has her own cake shop,
Oh,
basically,
that's
and
awesome.
she met her girlfriend as well, and they're very happy watching her grow into this and start having more honest conversation with her family as well. And it really means so much to me. And just knowing that I could be one of the people to support and work beside her on this journey, and that brings me joy.
Oh no, that's incredible. What is her cake shop's name?
It's called The Poem.
And is it here in London?
Yes, she has Instagram account which is called The Poem Cake. She does mini landscape cake. So for example, if you have places that you like very much, you can like send her pictures and they can customize it into a cake, which is
Stunning.
absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, I'll have to go to London. So I'm in Brazil, but I would like to go there.
Come try it out.
Yeah.
No, that's an incredible story, Michelle. I'm also very happy for her and you as well. Fernanda?
The sense of community is so joyful. I mean, seeing the people we love, the people we consider as family, growing and having great moments and achieving dreams. There's nothing else like this, you know, it's pure joy for real. It's amazing to see the people of our community making their dreams come true. It's unbelievable.
That is really amazing. And I know now, Michelle, you just said you helped your friend feel her authentic self. Has there been anyone that's made you guys feel like your authentic self or made yourself feel proud to be yourself? You can say yourself as well. Doesn't have to be about someone else.
That's exactly what I prepared. My answer was, I think it's me. It took a lot of work, reflection, learning, and I'm really proud of myself.
Yes, I agree 100%. And even the other people that can inspire us, they're still chosen by us. You know, there's our work to get close or to get inspired. So
Yeah.
it's about us doing right and wrong choices, of course. But in the end of the day, it's all about ourselves. And that's the real meaning of
Yeah.
being proud, you know? It's being proud of us.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. I think we do, of course, we need support around us, but it eventually comes to us to really kind of think it through and reflect. And yeah, it all comes down to ourselves.
Amazing. And if you had to give a message to your younger self, is there anything you would say?
Yeah, I'd probably say just enjoy and be brave. Don't be afraid of getting hurt, because you will be. But it's all about experiences. If you get hurt, but you also will have joy. So yeah, it all comes together. So don't be afraid of getting hurt or making mistakes. It happens. Just enjoy. Just go for it.
Be patient, trust your choices, whatever they are, they're still your choices, and try to enjoy your path. Try to enjoy the ride. I mean, the journey, yeah, it can be, and it usually is very painful in many senses, but when you really find yourself and you trust yourself, trust who you are, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. Thank you for your openness and for sharing your experiences. It was so lovely chatting with you both. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank
You.
you.
It was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, same.
I'm so glad. And last week, Holly Johnson was joined by Camilla and Dimitri to discuss showing up authentically at work. If you haven't heard it, please give it a listen. You can find all our episodes available on YouTube at VSI TV. Thank you for listening to our mini-series and to all our guests for sharing their perspectives and experiences with us. Until next time.